So, a metaphor for the internal arts, although I would expect that this would apply to any arts, whether martial or otherwise, whether external or internal, but my purview is the internal martial arts. So, that's what I've been teaching is to. And the idea, um, building on something that my teacher passed to me, which is that I am not the teacher. I'm just the guy with the keys to the studio and the person who knows where the light switches are and who is willing to say, okay, everybody, let's get started practicing. The teacher is the principals. The teacher is not the person at the front of the class. Now, where did those principles go? Are they ever going to get here? Are they fleeting? Are they brief visitors? Are they perhaps unnoticed by me when they do visit? And so the metaphor is an innkeeper who, you will all agree, is not a kidnapper. The innkeeper does not go into town and kidnap people and make them stay and then pay. What the innkeeper does is creates a space and a place for the visitors, the guests. And the innkeeper might look around the inn and say, there's a bit too much clutter, there's a bit too much uncleanliness. I could have a softer touch here, or rearrange the flowers, or tend to the plantings, or light a candle, or reupholster the couch, or bake some bread, or change the light bulbs, or whatever. Make the place more inviting, homey, cozy. And we would expect then that the innkeeper might have more guests in time. The guests find the inn more readily. The guests visit the inn more frequently, and they may stay for longer. In fact, the guests may become family. They may essentially move in such that they are ever present. And in our practice, we are innkeepers. The inn is our being, our body. And it is where we set the scene to invite the principals to visit and perhaps lengthen their stay and come more often and tell their friends who are other principals to come because it's a great place to visit. It's welcoming, it's homey, it's restful and appropriate. And so rather than saying, let me manifest the principles because I'm doing this art right now, which may be something that is unavailable to me. I don't yet know, I haven't met those principles. I've just heard tell of them. What I can do is I can set the stage, I can set the inn up to be recognized by the principles and feel inviting to the principles and comforting and supportive and appropriate, such that the principals find this being and move in, perhaps for a stay and perhaps for longer. So rather than going through my practice saying, let me get all my principles together and then I'm supposed to be able to do my practice and look like I'm doing my practice. Instead, how do I make the place of practice inviting to the principles? And then be ready to greet them and welcome them and be hospitable to them, right? So let's be some good innkeepers, shall we?